With all this AI buzz lately, it really does feel like we are standing on the launch pad of something huge GE.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why we're diving deep today to help you make sense of it all. Because let's separate that hype from the reality.
Right. And it's not just hype. The reality is we may be on the verge of something truly remarkable, perhaps even a bit frightening.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds a little ominous, but you're Dario Amodei, CEO of Anthropic and AI company. So I'm guessing you've got some strong opinions on where this is all headed.
Well, it all comes down to something we call the scaling laws of AI.
Okay.
It's not about some magical code, but about the sheer computing power we're now able to throw at these problems.
Okay.
Think of it this way. It's like that moment when a virus goes from a handful of cases to global pandemic.
Right.
Exponential growth, things double, then double again, and suddenly we're in uncharted territory.
So not just AI getting a little faster at, say, writing emails, but something way more fundamental shifting beneath the surface.
Precisely what we're seeing now isn't just about specialized AI like winning at chess or recommending your next binge watch.
Right.
It's about the emergence of general intelligence systems that can learn and adapt across a wide range of tasks, much like humans do.
Okay, so how quickly are we talking here? Because that already sounds like the plot of a sci-fi movie, and I'm not sure I'm emotionally prepared for robots to be writing screenplays just yet.
I hear you, but buckle up, because Amadei's prediction is that within the next 2 to 5 years, that's incredibly soon, we could have AI systems capable of operating at the level of a strong professional in various fields. That's like having a colleague who can analyze data, generate reports, even come up with creative solutions at lightning speed.
Wow, a colleague who actually works 24/7 already solved. But seriously, that's mind-blowing. So let's talk about what that actually looks like in the real world. Where does Amodei see this impacting our lives most dramatically? So AI colleagues in just a few years, it's a lot to take in, but let's get specific. Where does Amodei see this having the biggest impact?
One area he's particularly excited about is drug discovery. Imagine AI sifting through mountains of data spotting patterns even the most brilliant scientists might miss and proposing new treatments at warp speed. Amodei actually believes AI could cut drug development time in half by 2030.
Okay, so from years of research to finding cures in a matter of months, that's huge. But with great power comes, well, the potential for things to go sideways. Didn't Amodei also raise some red flags about the darker side of this technology?
He did, and it's something we take very seriously at Anthropic. Even current AI, which is already being used to design new drug molecules, has the potential to be misused. Think about the implications for bioweapons, for example.
It's almost like handing someone an incredibly powerful toolbox without knowing if they'll build a skyscraper or something a lot more dangerous.
Yeah.
How do we even begin to grapple with that kind of risk?
That's where the idea of risk thresholds comes in. Anthropic is working to define those points on the AI development curve where the potential for harm, whether intentional or accidental, increases dramatically.
So like warning signs along the AI superhighway saying, proceed with caution. How do you actually define those thresholds? It's not like we can predict the future, can we?
It's definitely a complex challenge, but we can look for clues. For example, imagine AI systems becoming capable of independently designing and executing complex tasks in the physical world, or coordinating with other AI systems in ways we didn't anticipate. Those are the kinds of capabilities that could pose significant risks if they're not carefully managed.
Okay, I see what you mean. And it makes me think about Amodei's comparison to the Manhattan Project. Even the brilliant minds who developed the atomic bomb didn't fully grasp the implications of what they were creating until it was too late.
Exactly. And that's a mistake we can't afford to repeat with AI. We need to be thinking about the potential consequences now, not after the fact.
It's like we're navigating uncharted waters here. We've got this powerful technology, but we're still figuring out how to steer the ship.
And that's why, in addition to defining those risk thresholds, we need to develop ways to mitigate those risks. We need to build in safeguards, ensure transparency and accountability, and foster a global dialogue about the ethical implications of this technology.
So it's not just about building better AI, it's about building a better future with AI. But how do we make sure everyone's on board? It's a big challenge, right? Making sure everybody's on board with this whole responsible AI thing.
Yeah.
So how do we actually do that?
Well, Amodei is not just ringing alarm bells. He's actually, getting his hands dirty, trying to find solutions. And at Anthropic, they're doing this really interesting thing called constitutional AI.
Constitutional AI sounds pretty official. Is that like, are we writing a rule book for robots now?
Yeah, in a way, I guess you could say that. Imagine instilling AI with some sort of moral compass, guided by these principles we can all kind of agree on, like think about the UN Declaration of Human Rights, that kind of thing. Those documents could be a starting point to teach AI to, make better, more ethical decisions.
So instead of just focusing on, what AI can do, we're starting to think about what it should do. That feels like a pretty important step to take.
It's crucial. And it's not just about like hard coding rules either. We're also looking at how to make these AI constitutions more flexible, able to adapt and change as AI systems become more and more complex. It's definitely a work in progress, and we need help from ethicists, policymakers, even the general public to get it right.
Right. It's like we're building a whole new society, not just a new technology. And speaking of which, we've been talking about those risk thresholds. How does Anthropic actually keep track of those in the real world?
So they have this internal system they use called ASL, which stands for Anthropic Safety Levels. And it's kind of like a warning system, constantly looking for any signs that AI is getting close to, a potentially dangerous level.
Right.
Like, for instance, if an AI system starts showing signs of self-preservation, or if it can suddenly improve itself really rapidly, that would set off some alarm bells.
Oh, it's like a high-tech smoke detector, but for AI risk instead.
Yeah, exactly. And just like with the smoke detector, right? You don't want to wait until it goes off to actually do something about it. We need to be on top of this, anticipating problems, coming up with solutions before those risks, become a reality.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So for those of us listening, who might not be AI experts, but are definitely curious, what can we do to kind of prepare for this future where AI is everywhere?
Well, Amodei is a big believer in getting your hands dirty, Don't just read about it. Try it out. Use those AI tools. Play around with language models. The more familiar we are with this tech, the better equipped we'll be to handle its impact on our lives.
So instead of being afraid of the robots, we should all learn to speak their language. I like it.
That's the spirit. And, even more than just technical skills, it's important to nurture your critical thinking skills. Ask questions, challenge assumptions, and think about what AI means for your job, your community, even the world at large.
That's such a good point. AI isn't some far-off thing anymore. It's here now.
Yeah.
And it's really up to all of us to engage with it in a way that makes sense and, is responsible.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my hope for everyone listening today. The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's something we're creating right now with the decisions we make.
Well said. And on that note, a huge thank you to you, our listener, for joining us on this wild ride into the world of AI. It's complicated for sure, but full of potential pitfalls and mind-blowing possibilities.
Yeah.
So stay curious, stay informed, and let's build this future together.